Imagine thinking that this is a good argument for Christianity. I see this post, this meme on my page quite often. And what it shows me is a lack of thought and clarity for people who believe in Christianity or any other religion that would try to use the Acts of Three Atheists as a bar, a measurement to say that, well, Christianity is better because you think religion is the problem. Look at what these atheists have done. According to the numbers here, they have killed 67 million people, these three people, and they're atheists. One of the easiest ways to defeat this argument is just to acknowledge how many people have died, have been massacred. Their deaths come because they were in improper situation, disease, famines, those sorts of things, based on Christian leadership, Christian authority, Christian conquest. Just the conquest of the Americas alone decimated the population to where 60 million people died. 60 million. If I were to add that at the 15 million people who died in just the Congo, not to mention the remaining parts of colonial Africa, just the Congo alone, that's an additional 10 to 15 million that you add there. We are already surpassed these gentlemen, and they are not gentlemen, but we have already surpassed their numbers just in the Americas and the Congo alone. If I were to then incorporate the rest of Africa that was colonized by Christians, the number grows even more. Yeah, that's what the people who post this sound like to me, like that dog wailing at this point. Could I not have timed it, perfectly? Even though it gets on my nerves. But to continue, if we were to then add in the numbers based on the Crusades, if we added in the numbers based on from the time frame that Rome under Theodosius declared the Roman Empire to be Christian, and the numbers of people he massacred in that process in order to make the Roman Empire Christian, the numbers far surpass those numbers. We are well past those numbers at this point. You see, I can go on and on about Christians going into Australia, Christians going into India, Christian going into Southwest Asia, Christians fighting against the Muslim and the Muslim fighting against the Christians. I think the leadership in World War I and II were all Christians. You see how the numbers just keep going? Christians, religion in itself, has been the backbone of more massacres, more deaths than anything else. Religion is more of the problem because there is no emotional, spiritual tie of connection. When people who ill-advisedly followed these three men, it was more about nationalism, fear, that sort of thing. But then when you add religion to nationalism and fear and all types of other things, it brings about an actual prideful acceptance of the decimation that you're creating. Think about it. Think about it like this. I didn't talk about this, but Manifest Destiny in America, in the United States. Manifest Destiny not only made it justifiable and okay to genocide the indigenous American population from the East Coast to the Mississippi and then on into the West Coast after the Louisiana Purchase, but it gave them the mindset that what they were doing was justified and right by their God. It took away any opportunity for the people to say, is this the right thing to do? Should we be doing this? Because prior to that is going to be a moral stance based on your culture. But when you add that religion into it, now it becomes a righteous justification. So when Cortez hits Central America, a righteous justification. When he hits North America, Mexico, a righteous justification. When the British go into India, a righteous justification. You see, when Christianity is mixed in with the superiority complex of any group of people or the power that a person or a group wants to have, it becomes righteous justification. So to put this image up, as if it is a good argument, just shows that you believe that through your belief, your God, you have righteous justification. But yet the argument fails every time. Every time the argument fails, which is amazes me that people still put it up there. What you should realize is that religion has always been utilized as a weapon, whether we're talking about Muslims, whether we're talking about Christians, Hindus, whoever. Religion has always been used. The Akkadians, the Sumerians, religion has always been used as a weapon against the people. People give authority to higher ups who supposedly know this God and understand this God's will, and then combine that with nationalism, and you have a powerful mixture of controlling the people to get whatever you want done for your own personal sake, and the people pay the price. Religion is incredibly dangerous. So what I say is we take the elements out of the room that we can take out of the room, religion being one. When you look at more secular countries have a better lifestyles. They're more peaceful, higher educated, less people in prison, less crime. The more secular a country is, the better off the people are. Even in America, you can see evidence of this in the growth of America. America has never been a great country. Never been the great what the Constitution says it should be. But it has only moved forward the more secular the country has become, which is why setting up America as a secular country was the intent of the founding fathers, which is so that's why there's no theocracy. There's a separation between church and state. The president is not the leader of the state-funded state religion. So what you have then becomes a secular country where the culture can change based on humanism and not religion. You see, slavery ended because of secularism that turned into a war. Based on the religion of Christianity, slavery should have maintained itself up until this day, till heaven and earth passes away. You see, and women not being viewed as property is something that matured through the culture of secularism. Because if not, women will still be viewed as property, as the Bible says, and they will be viewed as that up until today, because heaven and earth has still not yet passed away. So it is because of secularism and freedom of religion, the fact that you cannot force your religion on people, and then people get to think for themselves and they get to mature with the culture or change with the culture, we get a better situation. One day America will be, or could be, because I ain't gonna say it will be, but it could one day be a place where everyone has an equal opportunity for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. One day, but not today. And nowhere in the past have that been the case. But secularism definitely allows us to move in that direction. Religious dominance maintains a stuck culture, a culture where you cannot move forward, a culture where people will fight and kill each other over the beliefs in an imaginary God that neither side can prove. You can't prove Allah, you can't prove Yahweh, you can't prove Jehovah, you can't prove El, you can't prove Brahma, you can't prove none of them. But yet you'll fight and die over the argument of whether or not which one is real. That is a deeper sickness, a deeper psychosis than most people realize. And when we end that, we then can become a better world. We can then heal from all the tyranny of religion over the last 12,000 years. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.